Order money to flow to you 24/7. Speak to it as a servant, not a master. Money is not above you. It responds to your words, your belief, your vibration. It is not something to chase. It is something to command. And when you do so with clarity, conviction, and unwavering faith, it will obey. Too many live in the shadow of fear and lack, giving power to the illusion of limitation. They wait for permission to prosper, for signs to believe, for proof before they speak. But the truth is this: reality bends to the bold. The moment you declare that money comes to you freely and continuously, the invisible begins to shift, circumstances rearrange, people appear, opportunities align. But only when you speak as one who knows, not hopes, that the flow of abundance is already yours. Money responds not to desperation, but to authority. When you chase it, you declare to the universe that it is something outside of your control, something separate from you, something that must be pursued to be obtained. But when you speak to it, when you command it with calm certainty and unshakable belief, you align yourself with its true nature, as energy that flows where it is welcomed, not where it is begged for. Most people have been conditioned to treat money as a master, to fear its absence and worship its presence. This mentality creates a cycle of lack, where every decision is made from a place of need rather than power. But the truth is, money follows structure, energy, and intention. It does not decide who deserves it. It responds to the one who stands in their authority and gives it a clear instruction. When you speak about money, how do you speak? Is it from fear, frustration, or confusion, or is it from a place of knowing that money is a natural part of your experience? Words are not idle, they are tools of creation. What you affirm consistently becomes what you experience. If you keep saying you never have enough, that becomes your pattern. But when you shift and begin to say, money flows to me constantly, it comes from all directions, it obeys my word, then you shift from reaction to creation. You stop waiting and start directing. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are not above anyone else, but you are no less worthy than anyone who lives in abundance. The moment you realize that money does not require you to work harder, but to believe deeper, you start to reclaim your power. Commanding money is not about shouting into the air. It is about vibrating from a frequency of certainty, where your inner state becomes magnetic to wealth. Confidence attracts, desperation repels. When you order money to come, you do it with a calm, steady inner voice that knows the universe is already responding. It is not about yelling, it's about knowing you are not powerless, you are a creator. You are not a beggar at the door of wealth, you are the one holding the keys. But until you start treating money like a servant and stop bowing to it like a god, you will stay in a place of need. The shift begins when you understand this simple truth. Money is not something you earn only by effort. It is something you attract by belief. Your command, when spoken with intention, is a spiritual law in motion. The more you speak from authority, the more money listens. It moves toward clarity. It flows to certainty. It responds to leadership. So stop chasing. Start commanding. Let your voice carry the weight of someone who knows the power they carry. Speak it daily. Money, flow to me now. You obey my word. You serve my purpose. You are welcome in my life. Say it until it becomes your truth, and then watch your reality obey. Ask ChatGPT, you said. Expend 2.5 words without any sub-heading, ChatGPT said. Your words are not just sounds. They are instructions to the universe. Every word you speak, especially those you repeat often, carries energy and direction. They act like seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind, growing into experiences that match their vibration. When it comes to money, this truth becomes even more powerful. If you speak lack, you live in lack. If you speak wealth, you open the channel for abundance to reach you. Words shape reality long before results appear in your life. That's why understanding the creative power of language is not just helpful. It is essential to transforming your financial experience. Many people unknowingly use their words to block prosperity. They say things like, I can't afford that. money doesn't come easily, or I never have enough. These statements seem harmless or even realistic, but what they truly are is programming. Every time you say them, you reinforce a belief in scarcity, and your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Your environment then mirrors that belief. Opportunities dry up, unexpected bills arrive, and even money that does come seems to disappear quickly. But this is not a curse. It is a response to your own declarations. Once you become aware of this, you can reclaim your power. You begin to speak deliberately, choosing affirmations that affirm wealth, not lack, saying, "Money flows to me constantly," or "I am a magnet for financial abundance." Might seem strange at first, especially if your bank account says otherwise. But you must understand that your words lead your reality, not the other way around. You don't speak affirmations because they reflect your current reality. You speak them because they create the new one. Repetition builds belief. Belief activates manifestation, and manifestation brings results. This process requires consistency. You cannot speak wealth one day and doubt the next and expect lasting change. You must train your words like you would train a muscle. Daily, you need to affirm what you want, not what you fear. The more you speak with conviction, the more your subconscious aligns with abundance, and the more the universe begins to respond in kind. It's not magic, it's alignment. The outer world must reflect the inner world, and your words are the bridge between them. Some people think affirmations are just wishful thinking, but they are actually precise tools for reprogramming the mind. Think of your words as commands, like code written into a system. Every time you affirm abundance, you are rewriting your internal program from poverty to prosperity. You are giving your mind new instructions, and over time, these instructions overwrite the old limitations. This is why it's vital to monitor your language, especially about money. Speak as one who already has what they desire. Declare what you want as if it's already yours. I am wealthy. I am abundant. Money flows to me 24/7. Say it out loud. Write it down. Let your words become your reality because the truth is simple. Your life moves in the direction of your dominant conversation. And when that conversation is rich, powerful, and intentional, so is your life. You said, expend 3 key 500 words without any sub-heading, ChatGPT said. Belief is the silent force behind every manifestation. It is the invisible foundation upon which all abundance is built. Without belief, words become empty, actions become mechanical, and efforts fall short of their full potential. When it comes to attracting money, belief must come first, before the evidence, before the numbers in the bank, before the external validation. You must believe in the flow of money as a reality, even when your circumstances say otherwise. This is not about ignoring what you see, it's about choosing what you accept. What you believe creates what you receive. If your belief is rooted in lack, you will always find yourself blocked. But if your belief is grounded in abundance, you begin to unlock a continuous stream of prosperity that flows independently of your current conditions. Many people wait for a sign before they believe. They think once I get the job, or once I receive a certain amount of money, then I'll believe I'm abundant. But this mindset delays the manifestation. It puts belief at the mercy of circumstances. In truth, circumstances follow belief, not the other way around. What you hold as truth in your inner world determines what shows up in your outer world. When you believe money flows to you effortlessly and constantly, that belief becomes a magnetic signal. It draws to you people, situations, and ideas that align with that frequency. It's not just positive thinking, it's energetic alignment. Your belief must be strong enough to withstand the silence between your declaration and its manifestation. That gap is where most people give up. They start with excitement, affirming their financial desires with enthusiasm, but when results don't appear immediately, they begin to doubt. Doubt is a reversal. It unravels the very progress you made in your moments of faith. That's why sustaining belief is so crucial. You must believe with the same intensity on day 30 as you did on day 1. Consistency in belief is the soil where miracles grow. There will be moments where external evidence is scarce, where everything around you tempts you to abandon your vision. That's the testing ground. That's where true belief is proven. Can you still see money flowing when your bank account is low? Can you still affirm your wealth when the bills arrive? Can you hold the vibration of abundance when the world around you is echoing scarcity? If you can, then you are not just wishing for money, you are creating it. Faith is not blind, it is bold. It looks past the temporary to focus on the truth of what's coming. When you believe in the 24/7 flow of money to you, you're not just hoping for a lucky break, you're aligning with a spiritual law. Money does not flow to those who wish quietly. It flows to those who believe loudly, internally, and consistently. Every belief you reinforce becomes stronger, and eventually the world cannot help but match it. So believe first, believe consistently, and allow the unseen to shape the seen, because when belief becomes your foundation, abundance becomes your reality. You said, expend 4.500 words without any subheading. ChatGPT said, letting go of the how is one of the most liberating and powerful decisions you can make when calling in money. The mind always wants to calculate, to strategize, to find a logical route from lack to abundance. But money, like all forms of energy, doesn't move solely by logic, it moves by alignment. When you declare that money flows to you 24/7, you must also release the mental burden of figuring out how it will arrive. The how belongs to the universe. Your job is to believe, to feel it, to expect it, and to receive it. The moment you try to control every detail of its arrival, you step out of faith and into force, and force never produces flow. The universe is infinite in its possibilities. Money can come to you through unexpected opportunities, surprise payments, gifts, ideas, solutions, or even miraculous timing. But if you are locked into one rigid pathway, one method, or one source, you block all other channels that could bring wealth into your life. This is why surrendering the how is not laziness, it is spiritual intelligence. It's a recognition that the universe has access to more resources, more connections, and more timing than you can possibly calculate. When you release the need to control the outcome, you open yourself up to be guided, inspired, and supported in ways that exceed your expectations. You may be affirming abundance every day, but if you're also worrying about the details, you're creating resistance. Worry is a signal of mistrust. It says, I don't really believe it's coming unless I make it happen by force. But true abundance flows from trust. When you say, money flows to me from known and unknown sources, and you truly mean it, you are stepping into co-creation with the universe. You are not just depending on your job, or a client, or a single transaction. You're opening up to an entire ecosystem of abundance that is constantly moving, shifting, and creating around you. The most successful manifestations come when you declare the what, feel the why, and release the how. Let your focus be on maintaining the energy of wealth, not obsessing over the mechanism. If an idea shows up, take action. If a door opens, walk through it, but don't force open doors that are closed just to try and make your desire come faster. When you stay aligned with abundance, the path reveals itself in divine timing, and often with divine surprise. Let your heart and energy do the work of receiving, while the universe handles the orchestration. Hold the belief, keep speaking the reality of money flowing to you, and remain open. The money may come through ways you never imagined, but it will come because your belief calls it, your words direct it, and your surrender makes room for it. So breathe, relax, and release the need to figure it all out. Money flows to you 24/7, not because you control it, but because you trust the unseen to deliver what you've already claimed. You said, expend 500 words without any subheading. ChatGPT said, the mind is like a garden. and the words you speak are the seeds you plant in it every day. Whatever you sow, you eventually reap. When it comes to financial abundance, it is essential to plant seeds of increase, prosperity, wealth, and overflow. That means you must be deliberate in reprogramming your mind with abundance language. Most people speak lack without realizing it. They say things like, "I can't afford that," "that's too expensive," or "I never have enough." These phrases may feel like harmless observations, but in truth, they are powerful declarations that train your subconscious to expect scarcity as your normal state. Over time, your outer life will begin to mirror this inner dialogue. What you affirm becomes your environment, so if you want to change your financial situation, the first shift must happen in your words. When you start speaking abundance, boldly, consistently, and without apology, you begin to install a new operating system within your mind. You might not see changes overnight, but internally, your subconscious is being rewired to accept wealth as familiar and expected. When you say, "Money flows to me constantly," "I always have more than enough," or "wealth is my natural state," your words begin to push out the old programming of fear, doubt, and limitation. You no longer operate from survival mode. You begin to think, speak, and feel from a place of overflow. Affirmations are not just positive quotes. They are spiritual tools that reshape your energetic field. The more you speak them, the more natural they feel. What once felt like a fantasy begins to feel like truth. That's the shift you're aiming for. Your words must move from sounding too good to be true to becoming so normal that anything less than abundance feels foreign. This kind of mental and emotional alignment is what creates long-term financial transformation. You don't just want a temporary win. You want to live in a continuous state of prosperity, and that begins with the language you use. There is power in repetition. The more you declare wealth, the deeper those beliefs root themselves into your subconscious. Repetition builds familiarity. Familiarity builds belief, and belief builds your reality. This is why you must speak abundance even when your circumstances don't yet reflect it. You're not lying. You're leading your reality into alignment with your vision. If you only speak what you see, you stay stuck. But when you speak what you desire with conviction, your external world begins to shift. Speak it in the morning. Speak it throughout the day. Speak it before you sleep. Let your language be saturated with increase. Replace every doubtful thought with a declaration of abundance. Where others see limitation, you declare opportunity. Where others fear lack, you affirm overflow. Let no word leave your mouth that contradicts the wealth you are calling in. This is not pretending, it is creating, and the more you do it, the more your entire being begins to align with the frequency of money. You start attracting new ideas, meeting people aligned with your vision, and stepping into places where doors open without force. It all begins with the words you choose, for your mouth speaks your future into existence. You said, expend 6.500 words without any subheading. ChatGPT said, money is a servant, not a master. The moment you reverse that relationship, you step into a position of power. Too many people give money control over their emotions, decisions, and self-worth. They see it as something to worship, fear, or chase. But money was never meant to dominate your life. It was designed to support your purpose. It responds to the energy of the one who commands it with clarity and confidence. When you begin to treat money as a tool that serves your vision, rather than something that controls your life, everything changes. Your choices become expansive instead of restricted. Your mindset shifts from survival to creation, and money begins to flow more freely because you no longer operate from a place of lack or fear. You are the architect of your financial reality. Money is just one of the bricks. It's not the foundation, and it's not the builder. It takes shape based on the instructions you give it. When you speak from authority and intention, money listens. When you declare, money is here to serve me, to support my mission, and to multiply through me, you align yourself with truth. You recognize that you are not here to struggle under the weight of finances. You are here to rise and expand, using money as a vehicle to fulfill your higher calling. When you allow money to become your master, it dictates how you feel and how you move. You find yourself making decisions from fear, staying in jobs you hate, shrinking your dreams to fit a budget, or constantly stressing about bills. But when you flip the script and take your place as the one in charge, you begin to lead your finances with intention. You tell your money where to go. You assign it to purposes that matter. You use it to create experiences, support others, invest in growth, and open new doors. Money becomes a loyal assistant, always following the direction of your belief and focus. The truth is, money doesn't think, it doesn't judge, it doesn't choose favorites. It simply moves in response to energy and belief. When you elevate your identity and stop seeing money as something greater than yourself, you begin to interact with it differently. You stop fearing it, you stop obsessing over it, and ironically, the less you chase it, the more it shows up, because now you're not pushing it away with desperation. You're attracting it with confidence and clarity. There is a massive shift that happens when you decide that you are the master and money is your servant. You no longer feel powerless in its presence. You no longer see it as a rare resource. You begin to treat it as something that follows your lead. This mindset allows you to operate from a higher frequency, one of leadership, vision, and abundance. You don't need to beg for money. You speak it, you expect it, you use it, and you bless it, knowing it came to serve you, not control you. When you walk in that truth, the flow of money becomes steady, obedient, and endless.